So good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 23rd of March, 2022. And this is a meeting of the licensing subcommittee for the East Long Meadow Town Council. Joining us as a new member today is Councilor O'Shea, who replaces Councilor Henry, who is no longer on our council. So Connor, welcome.
Thank you.
And other members are Aldo Fazio and our clerk, Jeannie Quaglietti. You should have been provided from Jeannie with a copy of the our last meeting, which was June the 2nd minutes. And if you've had a chance to look that over, I will entertain a motion to have those minutes approved.
I make a motion.
Motion's been made. I will second it to approve the June 2nd, 2021 meeting minutes. Is there any discussion? Seeing none, because this is a online meeting, all of our votes need to be by roll call. So I'll start. Yes.
I don't know if Connor can vote because he wasn't there.
He could abstain.
Right, then do you have a quorum then?
We have a quorum,
Wait.
yeah. We have a quorum. 1, 2, 3 out of 4.
Okay. To approve, you could do that?
1, 2 out of 3. Well, isn't the for voting a quorum of the people present, or is it of the full body?
It's of the full body.
Okay,
So
then
we-
we don't.
I think we
So
have to
then,
wait till next meeting.
all right, thank you
Okay.
for catching that for me. And so the motion on the table has to stand, obviously, or will go dormant, because we do need our third member to be present to do that. So for now, I'll set aside the June 2nd minutes and go to our second item on the agenda, the discussion of temporary outdoor dining permits. And Jeannie, I'm going to lean back to you to provide any backdrop you have coming from Governor Baker's office about any changes.
Right, so the last that we knew that the temporary outdoor dining permits were good until April 1 of this year. And I confirmed that with the ABCC, that if anybody wants to have outdoor dining, you know, change their temporary dining, outdoor dining and extend it past April 1, they have to do an alteration of premises application. And that's a multi-page application that has to be filled out, completed by the applicant, by the licensee, submitted to me, reviewed for the town council's approval, then go to the ABCC for approval. And what they said was, unless there's an extension, and I haven't heard anything about an extension, and we're getting kind of close. So we do have some licensees that have temporary outdoor dining, including you, Aldo. So.
Yeah, so, excuse me if I can comment on that. So a lot of I was watching news and articles that Boston has now extended their outdoor dining based on a permit fee, which is very hefty. I believe it was $7,500. And if you already had temporary dining, you could pay the $7,500 and continue after April 1st. But that didn't go into effect until May 1st. So that was kind of what was going on in Boston, if you want to look into that.
Okay.
I look at it going, you know, my only recommendation was, you know, I'm getting calls about people asking about outdoor dining. And I have retained an attorney to try to help me fill out the paperwork and try to at least put in the application with the state to amend the license. But I feel that a lot of the restaurants that did it in town did it very well last year. Over the past couple of years, there were no problems. It seemed everything was very smooth and seamless. If East Long Meadow would ever entertain a permit to play kind of deal where you would apply for a permit if you had outdoor dining previously, you could pay a fee and continue, but is the ABC saying after April 1st, that's it?
I
We
believe they're
can't-
saying after April 1st, that's it. And I know when I look at a lot of Mass General laws, they have like a separate one for Boston. So,
Oh, okay.
so this could be something like that, where Boston has its own set of rules, just because they're such a big city, but
Now,
I can look into it.
We are considered the licensing agent, correct?
Yes, the town council.
So no matter what, for any outdoor dining, regardless of what town you live in, you still have to apply for that paperwork to the ABC, correct?
Yes,
I would think so.
yes.
Okay.
But I would, if I can jump in here, I would be very hard pressed to think, and I don't want to put words in Connor's mouth, that my council colleagues would ever entertain a fee like that.
Okay.
You know, 75, to me, that's unconscionable.
Oh,
in
God,
a
yeah.
small town. I mean, and our goal would be to help you continue what you're doing and not exact a fee out of it. I think.
No, my suggestion was the restaurants that were under the temporary permit
Mhm.
could pay a $500 fee or a small fee to continue with outdoor dining, since the town is basically oversees the liquor license. But if you still need approval from the ABCC to extend that license, I thought it was something that could be done on the town council level.
I don't know if that's possible.
Yeah, I don't know either. And in the next, what's today, 9 days.
Yeah.
No,
No, I
matter-
understand, but being that the
would never
town
get it done.
governs, yeah, being that the town governs the license, I mean, the
Right.
state gives out the license, but we really regulate it, and the council polices it in a sense.
Mhm.
I didn't know what their authority was on as far as dealing with the establishments that had outdoor dining, if they can continue past April 1st, as long as they didn't go over their occupancy and kept all up to with the building codes and whatnot.
Right. I don't know the answer to that question.
Me neither.
And Jeannie, how many altogether? We have 6 or 7?
We have Fazio's Craft 32, Villa Napolitana, Center Square Grill, Pizza Shop 99, and the Knights.
And, oh, the nights, okay.
So I have to make a decision in 9 days. Do I sell all my patio equipment,
Yeah, this is jamming
know,
up
my
small business.
furniture, because all the fencing, all the stipulations that I did have to purchase in the beginning to have the outdoor dining? Do I invest? And so I lose April, May, maybe June, going into July, having to apply for this permit by the time I notify all my abutters, go to the state, again, turn in the genie, then we go back to the state level. So I've lost half a summer. So there goes another year in a sense. So I guess the real question was, is there any authority on the town council to these 6 people that have the license, a grace period? While if we show that we are in the process of applying to the state, is there a grace period or something along those lines that would allow us to continue while, I guess, the decision is being made? If we've all shown that we can professionally handle an outdoor patio, no instances, no disturbances were reported, there shouldn't be a reason, and we're not really exceeding occupancy, there shouldn't be a reason why there will be a denial on the state level.
I absolutely agree with all you've said. I don't know if we have the authority to, enforce the regulations. I don't know if we have the authority to, what's the word, waive, like for a 30-day. I mean, that makes
Gotcha.
sense to me, but I don't know if our authority extends that far, because at this point, it's disappointing that there hasn't been guidance out of the governor's office relative to this, because the process that you just described, although is weeks, numerous weeks.
Months, let's be honest, especially with COVID and you know, who's really working in the state office right now. And
Right.
so it's going to be months. So that puts me at a situation where, you know, I'm getting calls about outdoor dining and my hands are tied.
And it seems to me it's counterproductive to the spirit of what the governor's administration is trying to do to support small businesses and infuse some energy back into the economy in Massachusetts by supporting local commerce.
Yeah, I mean, so that was really only my suggestion on the outdoor dining was, you know, any way, you know, we're faced, like you said, 9 days before the deadline ends. The weather hasn't been warm enough to really do any outdoor dining. I mean,
It's almost a moot issue, but we still have to have a definitive answer on it.
yes, no, I understand that.
So Jeannie, what are your thoughts?
I was thinking I could check with the state to see if the local licensing authority has the power to extend the outdoor dining. And if you do, I would suggest maybe extend it to September 1st. And then give those licensees that opportunity to get the alteration of premises license. And if they don't, then they.
Exactly, that's fair, you know.
Because the alteration of premises, you have to pay, I think it's a $200 fee online to the ABCC to do the application. There's no fee to the local licensing authority. You have to probably pay for the abutters list. It's like $25 or something. Have to pay for the
mailing
notice, which is 120 probably. So it's probably $350 maybe. And then you're done. It's actually the description on your liquor license. The description of the premises will include an outdoor patio of such and such. You know, if, for instance, what Center Square has on their liquor license, it describes their outdoor patio.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think it'd be worth it for people to do that because I can see that, I'm not sure about Pizza Shop will keep it, but Villa Napolitana, they
spent a fair amount of money.
Yeah,
Craft 30. When people like to eat
32
outside, they're
puts some money.
accustomed to it now, you know, of
Right.
eating outside. They like it, and whether it's COVID driven, which it really is. So that's a suggestion.
And that's my thought is, you know,
If the local licensing authority doesn't have that power to extend, then
it is what it is, and you just pray it goes quick.
yeah.
The application, you know, the
The whole
filing.
idea of the outdoor dining, excuse me, was because you had to keep your tables further
6 feet.
apart.
Right.
Yep.
And that decreased the amount of diners, so that allowed you to have people dine outside.
But even now, we've had the Omicron surge, which is now kind of leveled off.
Yeah.
Talking this B2 variant. So are we ever going to get to a point where our occupancy inside makes the customer comfort level?
Right.
So I guess, you know, that's just a kind of waiting game on that. So.
Right. So I
But
guess
I
the
do
next step is for me
The
to
outdoor
just
dining is definitely a benefit to East Long Meadow because Center Square Girls Igloos, that drove people in from everywhere, Connecticut,
Yeah.
North. I mean, so that is good all around for the town as far as hopefully they're spending dollars at other establishments or, you know, getting fuel or spending money at Starbucks. So it benefits everybody. I think the outdoor dining is a very popular thing nowadays that I think, you know, as a town, we need to explore that option and see what our capabilities are to at least entertain the idea of having the outdoor dining.
Right.
So Jeannie, if you can do that and you get a favorable answer that the council needs to officially sanction that and extend it to September 1st, then that could go directly to our next agenda if President Kane is okay with that, so that we can expedite this for our local businesses.
Okay.
I
Sounds
can't
good.
imagine there'd be any pushback from the council. I just can't. And the fact
Right.
that every applicant is already going to, by the essence of the requirements in the application to expend $350+ it makes no sense to me to put a fee on it now makes it look like the town's trying to make a buck off of
Yeah.
our small businesses, and it's, to me, just counterproductive.
Yeah.
That's hypocritical.
Yeah, I would agree with all of that as well.
Okay,
Okay. Well, thank you for that, Jeannie. Discussion of flammable licenses and fees. And you also have the background on this, Jeannie.
yes, so if somebody is storing flammable fluids, whatever, gasoline, fuel, they have to get a permit from the town. And then they have to renew that license. So we have a handful, maybe 10 or 12 that are, in, Pride Stores, Cardamundi, the Fresh Acres down there, or whatever they call it. So the bylaws say that the permit is X amount of dollars based on the capacity of what you're storing. So the X amount of dollars is the fee that you pay to apply for your permit. Then your renewal is half that fee, year after year. Well, I found that some people weren't being charged the right amount, and that there was some people that were being charged the application permit fee, and was continued to being charged that fee for the renewal when it should have been half the fee. And then I've got where people were charged half the fee for the permit fee, and then it's all over the map. So I did a little audit, and I actually have Paul's been out for knee surgery, Morissette, the fire chief, because I wanted to know exactly what was the current amount of capacity, first of all, these licensees have. And then how do we rectify this where we've actually overcharged people over the years or undercharged over the years? And it's not a lot of circumstances. And I think what this was is this, the Board of Selectmen did this.
Mhm.
It's done once a year. When you do something once a year, it's not familiar to people. And then it changed hands. And then it came to my office 4 years ago. And so that's why I did this whole audit and I went back through the years of what these people are being charged. So I don't know how you want to move ahead with this.
My recollection was that the fire department was involved in this. I'm guessing their involvement had to do with verifying the size of the volume of the storage tank for
Yeah.
starters, and obviously their oversight of the safety issues of it. But
Right.
who set the original fees? The Board of Selectmen back in the day?
Probably. Actually, I think it's Mass General Law
Okay.
that sets it. So the fire department inspects for safety. And they're very involved with the application initially. But also through the years, and I'm looking at like thin, carbon paper, typewritten paper. Sometimes they would have to go in front of the Board of Selectmen because they decreased the amount of storage, therefore decreasing their fee. So I was looking at this list with Paul before he was out, and he's saying, well, I don't think they've got a tank over there anymore. And so that's why I said, can you confirm to me exactly what the capacities are of all these people first, and then go from there?
So am I hearing you correctly then that the fire department will verify the active status of all of these people, all
Yeah.
these entities? And
Yes.
is it possible there's more that haven't crept onto the list? But
One or two. It's
Yeah,
not
okay.
a lot.
Yeah.
We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 14 license holders.
Okay.
So, and then one instance, it's a small business owner that they don't even have it anymore. And Paul goes, I don't think they have it anymore, but they keep just, filling out the permit and paying us. So that's another part of it. And I think, I'd like to be above board with this and figure this out. But what I'm concerned about is in April, I will start sending out renewal letters. Actually, it's May 30th that they're up to date. that they're renewed. So I'm gonna have to, I think I should try to get this all straightened out by then with their renewal letter to explain what's happened.
So all of this to quantify the veracity of the spreadsheet is going to Paul Morissette first, chief,
Yeah.
the chief, or his
Yes,
department. They'll give
Right.
it back to us, to you, and then this committee will recommend the fee structure.
the fee
MGL.
structure, the master.
It's MGL, okay.
Some have overpaid and some have underpaid. So there'll be a letter going out saying because of a, clerical error through the last
Mhm.
30 years or 10 years, this happened and we either owe you X amount or you owe us.
Right. And because it's MGL, we're obliged to do that.
Yeah,
And we can't just say, oh, well, let bygones be bygones and move forward.
right. It's the right thing to do. So
Right,
it's,
of course.
the town's gonna have to make do on this. And I can see how it happens because it's a convoluted process. And when it goes from one person to another person, it loses its,
Context and
right,
names change and people change and,
yeah. So.
okay,
and
so,
mistakes were made, so we just need to rectify that.
okay, fair enough, everyone?
So maybe we can meet again,
Of course. Once you're comfortable with the data,
Yeah, yeah,
then we can meet again and then move it
right.
up to the council.
Hopefully in April, so
Yes, of
we'll
course.
get back to you on that.
All right, moving on to number 4, discussion of waiting lists for future available off-premises licenses. And that would be for businesses that are package stores or a convenience store with the right permit to sell alcohol, but it cannot be consumed on the premise. And
Right.
I'm understanding, Jeannie, from previous conversations, we have, we're at the limit of our quota for that type of a license, and that there are 3 businesses still very interested in obtaining one should it open up, correct?
Right. So I wanted this on the agenda because you're talking convenience stores, package stores. I've had 3 individuals call me looking for these types of licenses that are very rarely available, because if you sell your business, you transfer the license. Unless you open a new package store, convenience store. We were awarded on-premises licenses with the census and the availability of one licensee that gave theirs up. So there's 3 like restaurant licenses. I have made record of the 3 people that called me if there was a package store license available, excuse me, and I've numbered them. Well, if one comes up, I'm gonna call this guy first because he was first to the table, and 2 and 3. Someone had questioned me about this, saying in another town, if we had an available off-premise license, then there almost be like a bidding between, we'd have to give equal opportunity to the 3 people that called, and I kind of disagree with that. So I sort of wanted to have like a formal, I guess, vote of how we would offer an available off-premise license if one was available. And I feel the waiting list is the way to go. It's you called first, I said that I'd, let you know if we have one available and so on. So if you're not interested, I'll go to the next guy that called, chronologically.
Not unlike when you are trying to get into a medical office, a doctor, a dentist, and they say, I'll put you on our cancellation list, and they just keep calling till someone fills the slot. If you can't, well, there's no hard feelings, they keep going. I can't imagine there'd be an appetite for the council to be brokers for bidding wars. Real estate is cornered that market right now, the bidding wars in the real estate market, but that is not the intent, I don't believe, and I would agree with you. The council is not a broker of licenses, nor should it be. And maybe that works in a municipality or a big city like a Boston, but to me, that begs for impropriety. You know,
Okay.
if you're going to be in a bidding war and you know you're a friend of someone who has a vote on it, well, it just, it's an accident waiting to happen in my
Right.
book. And I
Yeah.
would think that's the logical, what you're doing is making a list, you know, date stamped of when the inquiry came in, and it goes to them first should one become available, but that's just me.
Okay.
Floor's open.
I guess I'm a little torn thinking about that because I agree that I don't like the idea of it being like a bidding war, someone having to pay to kind of put their money on a list, kind of betting around all the different people that could, you know, acquire the license. But I mean, I suppose there's also a case for people that didn't necessarily know that there was a waiting list and didn't get their name on it sooner than other people that maybe came in after they initially thought of it. So I don't know how we kind of make that equal.
I have to agree with Jeannie that it, you know, first come, first served. I think that would be the only fair and logical way to go about. I think if you do your due diligence and if you are applying for a license, you would inquire, are there any available? I'm thinking of doing this. So it's not like somebody would just say, hey, I'm going to call the town and see if they have a liquor license available. So I do have to agree, a bidding war is not the way to go. I think that the first come, first serve, or first right of refusal as you go down the list.
Mhm.
Like Kathy said, when you go to your doctor, hey, I have a 3 o'clock appointment. It was a cancellation. Do you want it? No, I can't do it. Then you go to the next person on the list.
That could work. Maybe just a suggestion on that one then. Could we publish the list maybe on the website or something of here's the active waiting list so people are aware of who's in line?
I don't know if I'd want to do that.
That would be something the council would, I think, would have to approve of, so that we're going to establish. I mean, it's informal right now, the waiting list. And does the statute even speak to that? That once you've saturated your quota, this is how you keep track of who still is interested.
No, I think that's a local
A
decision.
local practice, right?
Yeah. I don't know.
I'm not-
Claire. I say I don't think I'd want to do that. And I can't really give you an answer. It just doesn't seem, it seems like an invasion of privacy of the people that have called my office to say, you know, can you let me know when and then does number 3 go after number 1 and,
Right.
you know, threaten him that, you know, I want the license.
Yeah.
In the possibilities or probability is very low, but.
But I
suppose it.
I could see if somebody wants it real bad that, hey, you're first on the list. I'll offer you X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
Take your license. And then now you've created backdoor bidding.
Right. And that
that
touches on the council. Yeah.
Yeah, and that will come fly back on the council if we make that information known. I think you make a good argument there that it might come under privacy situation.
Right.
It's not like when you call the dentist and they say, oh, Kathy Hill just canceled her 2 o'clock because she has a flat tire. Can you come in? They just say there's a opening. Do you want it?
Right.
Yeah, I suppose what I was just trying to guard against was I could certainly see all of those scenarios being a possibility if it was made more public, but and certainly not with Jeannie, but if someone else in the future was ever in the position of being the keeper of the list, kind of going back to the impropriety topic, someone else could, you know, if you're friends with whoever's maintaining that list, you can bump up your person and no one else is going to know about it.
Yeah.
Well, yep, and that's a big human nature dilemma that could always exist anywhere, anytime. And I
Right.
echo what Connor said, not with this clerk's office, but do we, do you think this should go right to the council with a recommendation from us? Jeannie?
I don't know if it needs to go to the council. It
Just
wouldn't
in a
hurt.
report that we support the waiting list that you're keeping and the process of,
It could be a report just for your information.
right.
Yeah,
And that this is how we are keeping track of potential interest in future openings.
right. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Is everyone okay with that?
That'll work
If
for
you
now.
put it out there, then if someone's looking for that license, then they will know that they have to go and put their name on a list. So,
Right. At the same time, you can report there's none available.
Right.
So.
yeah.
Okay, and then, so moving on then, number 5, discussion of automatic amusement licenses. Back to you, Jeannie.
Oh, I took that off.
We did.
Yeah, that was on the March 9, but I took it off the March 23rd meeting, I believe.
And you know what? I printed the March 9 and never went back for the 23rd. So,
I had, the question was, I was wondering if the music machines were under that when I was looking at the Mass General Law. And because I'm not a lawyer, I was like, I'm not sure that's right, but I looked further into it on other research, and the music machines are included in that. So that was my question.
are included.
They are, yep. You know, like the iTunes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay,
Pretty much whatever you put money in and you get something back, that's automatic amusement. So pool tables, whatnot.
all right. So I'm going to ask you now, Jeannie, since shame on me, I'm operating off an older agenda. Is there anything else there?
No,
on
there
our
isn't.
agenda?
I think we should consider adding a new member, though. Getting another member on.
I agree with that, and I will discuss that with Mike Kane and recommend that he reach out and get an appointment. That we have
Okay.
enough counselors, I feel. There's 2 of us, Connor and I. We should have at least one more community member. In
Okay,
addition to Kathy Hood obviously is not able to be with us this morning, but another person to join the ranks with Aldo and Kathy.
okay. And then once I get the flammable information together, I'll let you know, Kathy, and we'll have another meeting.
Sure.
Is that okay? All right,
And maybe by that time we'll have a new face to join us. on
okay,
this one.
okay.
Is there anything else that anyone would like to bring up under other? Hearing none, I will entertain a motion to adjourn.
I move to adjourn.
A second now.
Motion's been made and seconded to adjourn. Connor,
Yes.
Aldo,
Yes.
I am a yes, and that makes it official. Jeannie, thanks for all of your backdrop today
You're
and
welcome.
input. And we are adjourned at 10:33, and we'll be probably back in business again in a few weeks. Thank you, and have a good day.
Thanks, you too.
You too, thanks.